Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This may turn into a rant video, so be warned. But I put out this poll yesterday. I normally like to leave these up for a day, but considering I've got fire in my soul, I need to do this now. 35 votes. I asked Dokkan players, what are your thoughts on today's reveal about Vegito and Zamasu? Comment down below. Now, I didn't explicitly say I'll make this video like I did with the Evolution Blue Vegito one. Yeah, I think I did in the comments. This one, I'll do that one later when things sort of die down about this. But feel free to vote on this one as well, whether you think he's overhated or not. But here we go. We'll start. So 40% said still hyped, 31% a little disappointed, 11% very disappointed, and 17% I don't mind. So obviously not a very big, huge sample size, but I have 0 Twitter presence. If I put that on Twitter, no one's gonna see it. So we just have to settle with the YouTube one for now. We do have a few comments here. That single animation, this is from Asparagus here. That single animation of Vegito looked so good. I don't care that they don't fuse. Also, I hope this will improve their kits as to not just build up to a big fusion for a couple of turns, but instead actively switch back and forth between the two characters. I don't think they knew it, but I think they anticipated that because of the festival, people, I think they anticipated that a lot of people would just use the fusion and the fight's over, right? Once you fuse, you're not lasting 4 turns unless it's the Festival of Battles, right? The only place where you can really take advantage of the tag switch mechanic is the festival, because that's 3 hours long, right? You're not gonna use it on turn 50, right? You're gonna use that on turn 70. You know what I mean? So I think they must have anticipated that, so they didn't want to do that again. They just didn't want to make a tag switch into a fusion, because it's basically copy paste. It'd make tons of money, right? But maybe they just felt like they wanted to do something different. So yeah, the focus is probably going to be more on the tag switch itself, considering there is no fusion version or card part. You know what I mean? So we have Mr. Dito here. Zamasu and Goku Black are cool, whether they fuse or not, to be honest. And they're the only unit I care about this worldwide. And I replied to this. I said, fair. The devs back themselves into a corner. Hopefully they make them busted in return for no permafusion. So I said permafusion here. I'm pretty sure what I mean. I know. What I meant is the 4 turns here. I was I don't think they would have made it a permanent fusion anyway. If they were gonna do that, they probably would have made it 4 turns, the same as Vegito and Gogeta, but make them really strong in return. But there would have just been what would be the point of summoning for 10th anniversary if they're just gonna do this, and then they're on the same banner as the 10th anniversary units. You know what I mean? Then we have Cobology Ring here. I'm excited for Tag Goku Black and Zamasu. I don't care if they don't fuse, I'm so beyond excited. And I said Goku Black deserves it, to be honest. Dude, the disrespect Goku Black has received in these past couple years, it's kind of been on and off, right? Int Rose got a good EZA, right? I think AGL Rose, I was not there when he dropped. Oh, I don't have a letter. Here we go. The E, you know what I mean? But this guy, does he count? He was good. This Super Saiyan 3 Rose, this guy, I wasn't there when he initially dropped, but his EZA, it was good, right? He had a few key issues, had to reach 18 key, but final blow kind of stuff. They gave him the Goku Black nonsense, but he was still good. They were good, EZA. And release, history, I was not there. AGR Rose was good. I think STR Rose was good. But then we get to like, it sort of turns into what were they thinking with this guy? Physical, easy A. This guy's easy A. And then they drop this guy. Like what I said in that last video about, you know, please don't fumble the future saga, and then they did. Like they must have seen how people reacted to Rare Chance, and they said that, okay, people don't like Rare Chance, so, you know, we'll give Veggie a medium chance. But my main issue with this, like the biggest problem I have with this, is these two, right? Because the you know, Ken, he had the gall to come on camera straight to our faces and said, you know, this may remind you of Super Saiyan 2 Kale and Super Saiyan 2 Caulifla, right? The audacity to say that to our faces, right? I know this is Golden Week Part 2. Golden Week compared to Anniversary and Worldwide, you know, GDC now, like Tanabata, they're on different levels. But I feel like Dokkan treats them the same. Because take a look at what we have, right? If we compare a yellow coin to a carnival to a Dokkan Fest, we'll compare this. You can tell yellow coins, they're already at a lower level because they're leader skill. But Dokkan Fests and carnivals, they're sort of like almost on the same level. Like, I think like Dokkan Fest is number 1, Carnival's number 2, and then Yellow Coin is number 3. Or maybe number 4 after like Dokkan Fest TURs, I'm not sure. But like you can see, the HP is different, but the actual like attack and defense as well, that adds up to 220. 170 add 50 is 220. And they just have a straight 220%, right? If they drop any more carnivals, that's going to be a 220%. Like, imagine like Zamasu and Goku Black. 220% to like super bosses or something. And then like the blues be like a, you know, 3 leader skills, 200% HP, and then 170% and then 50% to stats, you know what I mean? But like they're sort of on like similar levels. Dokkan Fest is a little bit above. But like my question is, if they're gonna do this for Vegito and Zamasu, why couldn't they have done it for these two? Because like they're not just a random yellow coin, you know. It was a response I got. It was in this poll here. One, you know, asking about whether people want to see them like fusing or not. I didn't see them fusing because I said here, I know it's very early and nothing is confirmed, but after seeing them redo Ken and Caulifla and them not fusing, I'm not expecting a fusion myself into Goku Black unit. Someone replied, he said, well, that was a random yellow coin unit, not an celebration. And I put true, but it's actually not true, because this is a carnival. So yeah, they are on a different level. If this was yellow coin, Ken and Caulifla, they probably would have been a Kefir anyway. Who knows? But like them being a carnival means they're a little bit above. So like I think this is worse. Because like I really dislike how they do categories. I really dislike how they do the categories. Because like accelerated battle, if they had the Kefla fusion active, they'd be on accelerated battle. They would be on Patara, they'd be on Final Trump Card, they'd be on Fused Fighters. I think that's it. But like accelerated battle, this is low-key one of the most like egregious categories in the game. On the fandom wiki, it says characters that displayed astounding speed, right? We don't know what the criteria is. We have no idea what the criteria is truly. Because if this made sense, pretty much every character except for like Chaozu and like Pampa from the World Tournament, you know, OGDB, like a lot of characters would be on there. Like Tien's not here, Pycon's not here, but like this category is disgusting. How many units are missing from this, you know? And I argued that, like, you know, DBS is where power scaling goes to die, right? You know, we're you know, Kappa versus Super Saiyan 4 Goji, you know what I mean? It's like that meme is dead, but like it was a meme for a while. It's like Dragon Ball Super. Like all those fights are accelerated battles, you know? All of them are moving super fast, right? You can't see them. You know, the God Pad, that's why these two are leaders, right? Because, you know, Zeno couldn't see them on the God Pad, right? I think that was it. It was either that or it was like it was UI Goku and Jiren. It was Frieza and Dispa. I'm not sure. I have to rewatch it. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But yeah, I would argue that these two, you could argue they could be on accelerated battle, right? They could be on accelerated battle, and so could many other units, and that's just what bugs me. And you know what this is? You know what this is? This is the effect we're seeing in real time of 6 LRs. Let me tell you, it all started from this guy here. It all started from this guy. You know what I think? I think that they were too ambitious. They were too ambitious with these two, right? They went ahead and they did everything they could to make these guys stand out, right? They're great. They're wonderful. And do we love them? Yeah, we do. I think it's wonderful. But because of that, this guy suffers. He suffers. He doesn't have an active skill. And it's not like, it's not, I don't think it's overblown that this guy doesn't have an active skill, you know? His artwork is completely wasted because he doesn't even do the Topo Punch. If he didn't have an active skill, but he had a key blast nullification where he actually used his blast, you know, he used his fist, he covered his hand in ki, and bam, you know? You know, he punch. It's like a nullification counter. You know what I mean? He punches the opponent, and they go flying. You know what I mean? Like Topo did. If he had that, not having an active skill, it would make it sting a little bit less, right? But because these two have 9 animations each, the budget, I bet they kind of blew the budget, right? Gohan, right? I think, like, I really do think that this guy was the last one to be made. You know, it's sort of like they forced a Vegito rep into this. This guy, good animation. You know, Father-Son Kamehameha, you know, one of the best animations in the game. This guy, you know, 9 animations. Same with these. Same with them. Like, you know, say what you will about Frieza's kit, but like there are some issues with them as well. Like this might be a personal thing, but I've got some issues with them as well. And then these two. I think these two were like designed last. Like, I think the way it goes is Vegito, Gogeta, Gohan, go Frieza. Where's my mouse gone? Go, oh no, then this guy. Then go Frieza. And then Vegito, right? I think them forcing the 6 LRs on like on the anniversary, it hurt the rest of the year. Because of that, we're missing like OSTs as well, right? It's not just that like some animations here and there are sort of like, okay, well, you know, what do we do, right? It's like these two, they only have 2 OSTs. Cell, he only has 2 OSTs, right? And like that's a big part of the game, right? The game isn't just, you know, the animations, right? It's the music that goes along with it. You know, this guy's intro is grand, you know. The final last ditch effort. This guy, you know, the miraculous awakening when he goes Super Saiyan 4. Like, it's so beautiful. the violin, you know. This is like the theme of love, you know. It's not rage. He's not. Wait, is he on exploding rage? I mean, maybe he could be. I mean, you could argue he could be on exploding rage because of the giant ape, but I mean, I guess he wasn't really raging. It was more of just like rampaging. But I mean, isn't that weird? But like you get my point, right? My point is that the music sets the mood, right? But because they went all out with the anniversary, right? It's like they kind of just, you know, not many units have that many OSTs, you know. His active and his intro share the same OST. Like, yeah, it's good. You know, yeah, it's good. But I think there could be more, right? I don't really know where I'm trying to go with this, but I just want to say I'm disappointed. I am. I'm already disappointed, and they have to hit this out of the park. I already made a pre-Doom posting. I guess this is like pre-Doom posting, right? Because if we take a look at this here, look at this. Don't fumble this again, Dokkan. And look at where we are. You know, the animations haven't already been revealed. I mean, yeah, they haven't been revealed at all. We have no idea what's going on apart from the fact that they do that, right? But it's like not only is it like not permanent fusion, but like Zamasu's version doesn't even make sense. It's like these guys didn't even watch the show. Because does Zamasu defuse? Quick, answer. Does Zamasu defuse? That's right, he doesn't. He doesn't defuse. I think, like the argument people were having about the gods and this being the exact, like not being the same thing, because Gogeta was present. I partially agree, because let's look at, we'll search up Vegeta because he has less cards. But look at these two, right? Like people were not, like, you know, we'd have to go back and fact check this, but I can imagine people were not exactly super happy with the gods just having Gogeta as an active skill. Where it's like, oh, we'd have to go to the Dokkan Wiki. I don't want to change websites, but I can imagine people weren't exactly super happy. Like they might have been hyped, but they said, oh, it should have been like a Gogeta actual fusion, right? You know what I mean? But we got these two to compensate. You know, we got the Gogeta, this guy, so he was present. You know, he was there. But like, we don't have that with this part one. You know, because Zamasu is gonna be like the same kind of deal where it's just the active skill attack, right? That doesn't even make sense, right? That doesn't even make sense because he doesn't defuse. And so let me tell you something. Choosing this game as my main is the best thing I could have done, because I love to complain. And with these guys, I don't know what it is, but they have the inability to read the room. It's like they took away the global foresight, but then they took away our force, their own foresight as well. I don't know how they didn't see this coming, you know? I don't know how they didn't see like the outrage coming. They must see it coming. They must see it coming. And so that is why I am actually expecting the easy A for these two right here. But in Zamasu and physical Super Vegito, it's like, as a Vegito fan, what they did to this unit, it disgusts me. It outrages me. It makes me so mad, right? Because I'm sorry I wasn't there when, you know, god descended from heaven in VB form in 2017 and dominated the game. Or when this guy, Easy Aid, right? And he dominated again. I was still 2 years out, you know? And so I'm coming into this as a Vegito fan, and it's like I had no idea all the Vegitos were dead, right? You know, dead and buried. But these two getting their Super Easy A, I don't think it's that far. No, not this guy, obviously, you know, regular Easy A. But I don't think it's that far-fetched. I think what they're going to do is they're going to do the same thing with Kale and Caulifla, and they're going to just drop these two and call it a day. Now, is this going to hurt as much? No. Because unlike with Kale and Caulifla, we actually get the fusion attack that puts them on categories. We get the cool animation. You know what I mean? So, but like the thing is, right, like I think in terms of scale, you know, all eyes are on us for part 1. The same way with the anniversary, all eyes are on us. What's it gonna be? They drop Vegito and Zamasu. Not only is this a redo of Worldwide, you know, take 2, but they somehow managed to fail again, you know? And that's the thing. That's the thing that really bugs me. It's like this should have been the unit, right? It should have been a standalone Vegito Blue, but instead, we're never getting that. We are 10 years into this game. The cope for, we can get another one. Look at these two, right? We already had them open. Look at these two, right? They had no idea what to give this guy. So they went ahead and gave him Dokkan original animations. I'm not going to complain about that. It may sound like I am because of my tone, but this is amazing. This is great, right? This is great that they just make up the animations and, you know, they're pretty good. The Vegito special, we love the Vegito special. But it's like, after this, like, where do we go from here, you know? Where do we go from worst fusion condition ever, worst active skill condition ever, into an active skill attack? Is standalone next, or is transforming next, right? Now, this is going to be a bit personal, right? This is going to be a bit personal. I think setting up, like what I'm about to say, is setting up myself for failure. I know they're not going to deliver. But I was so disappointed when we'll go to the fandom one for that. If I could probably find it, but I was so very disappointed when I heard the dub, right? My favorite voice line, probably in the entire show, right? And they didn't even do it, right? Let's take a listen to this. Take a listen.
It's now or never,
Let's lower the volume a little bit.
Vegeta?
So first off, who is that? Who is speaking? Who is speaking? Who is saying that? Like, who is that?
It's now or never, Vegeta.
Like, what? Who is that?
Damn it all. 1 hour, but that's it. I am the fusion of Vegeta and Kakarot. Vegito. And this is Vegito Blue!
Vegito Blue, right? I love Vegito Blue. Let me just tell you that. I love Vegito Blue. I think he's amazing. Every time Vegito shows up, you know, he doesn't finish the fight, but he entertains. And that's what I love. My favorite voice line in the entire show, I'm going to reenact it because obviously I can't play the clip, right? Because, you know, they'll show up at my house. So, like, you know, it's like, let me get into the zone. You two doubled up, so we did the same. We're a merged fighter. The combination of Vegeta and Kakarot. And here's something new. Vegito Blue. Ah, so great. The way he's coming out with the rhymes, and here's something new. Vegito Blue. I think what that is like dub, like only stuff. They didn't say that in the sub, right? he just probably said like, you know, Soshite Kariwa. Like, this is Vegito Blue, you know? And so they just went with the games, right? I think what they were given, like the material they were given, wasn't the greatest. But sometimes the delivery is absolutely exquisite. Let me just tell you that. In the actual show, like the dub, right? I think I'm setting myself up for failure here. But if they somehow managed to include the here's something new, this is a hit for me. This is a hit. Now, of course, they have to be good, right? They have to actually be good units. We don't want a repeat of you know, the blues, which we just had pulled up, right? But at this point, the disappointment is so low, they can't afford to mess up, right? They can't afford to mess up. Because if they do, the question is, why wasn't this Diamond, you know? Now, we're getting a little bit too heated, but I needed to get this off my chest. I just did, because I have so much rage bottled up in me. This was the breaking point, right? And to think we don't even know what they do, right? We don't know what they do. We don't know the typings. We have no idea what the animations look like apart from the Vegito, like a split second, you know? So it's like, I may be raging for no reason, but I hope you got some entertainment. Let me tell you, they have to hit this. They absolutely have. Like, we already said they can't fumble it. And it's like, no matter what, even if they're the greatest unit to grace us for 10 years from now, you know, they keep us fed till their 20th anniversary. People are still going to be mad. And I'm going to be mad. Let me tell you that. Let me tell you. If they somehow hit it out the park with this, I'm going to be great. Because then why not Daima, you know? If Daima is part 2, then I guess I would have been... we wouldn't be raging for no reason. But I just wanted to get this off my chest, you know? This is why I chose Dokkan. Low-key, these guys always fumble. They always mess up in some way, some shape or form. So it's like... This is a ranter's dream, you know? A ranter's dream. I love ranting, you know? I love talking, I love ranting, and we're just padding for time here. But I mean, I'm monetized anyway, so I'm just doing it for the love of the game. But yeah, tell me your thoughts. Are you super disappointed? Are you with me? Or do you think I'm going a bit too far? I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. I just got angrier because whilst uploading this, I realized that they planned this, right? Like, of course they did. But they planned, like they planned probably the whole year, probably like 2 years in advance, I'm not sure. Like, they must have maybe like a 5-year plan or whatever, and then they start working on like year by year, you know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. Maybe they have like the unit for 2020, I don't know, 2026 worldwide is probably already determined, but they haven't like started the animations yet, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like they greenlit this a week in advance. Okay guys, we're doing Vegito Blue, but they said, dang, we can't give him all his animations. Let's just do the fusion, right? They just do that, right? No, they full on planned this, which means, like, I think what this is piling on disappointment, because they dropped this guy, and they high key dropped the ball on this guy, and then we go into no fusing Kefla, and then now we go into this. Do you think that we go to the future? Why do we keep going to the Future Saga? Why do we have so many Vegito Blues, but we have one Future Saga Goku? Huh? Let's go to the Future Saga. Like, it is low-key disrespectful. I'm expecting a Kaioken, you know? I'm expecting the Kaioken, you know, Kamehameha that Goku did against Zamasu, that Vegeta and Trunks, they must have looked at him in shock. How did he do that? You know? We'll go to superheroes. like, not this guy. Where is he? This isn't the Goku I'm talking about. I think this is the one that rages, like, you know, like the backhand. Like, you've all seen that, right? The backhand. You know, his Easy A was trash anyway. But, like, the backhand and, the, you know, he rages, you know, even, you know, killed Chi-Chi and Goten. That one. This is the only Future Saga Goku we have. Like, solo. Let's actually go to Future Saga just so I can actually show it. But this is the only Future Saga Goku we have, which I think is kind of crazy. Like, don't you think it's kind of crazy? Like, if they don't Easy A the AGL Vegito Blue, oh, we're already here. I'm expecting, since they love Future so much, maybe next year we could get a Future Saga Kaioken Goku, because obviously this year is cursed to, you know, if your name includes Kaioken, you're bad, right? But like, maybe they're gonna do a Future Saga Goku Kaioken next year, like Blue Kaioken, and then they Easy A these two, because like they're not 100% off the table, just because of how things are, but they're 99% off the table. Like, don't expect them to Easy A, but if they do, then you know, yippee, right? But like, count the Vegitos with me. 1, 2, right? Okay, keep going. 3, okay, 4, that's 4. Only 4. Yeah. So we have 4 Vegitos from the Future Saga, right? 5, including these 2. Now let's look at Vegetas. Let's look at solo Vegetas. Count with me the solo Vegetas. Okay. Any solo Vegetas? 1, 2. Okay. Any more? Any more Vegetas? Looking like that's it. Now let's count the solo Gokus. 1. Okay. So we've spotted a bit of a pattern here. Vegito is the money maker. Okay. Why do they keep going back to the Future Saga? Because they're giving us another Vegito, right? You know? Like, this is what the Future Saga is about, you know? Now, obviously, it's like, it just feels disgusting, you know? It feels disgusting. Because, like, do you think Amatsu is twiddling his thumbs? Ooh, I wonder if the players will like this one. No, he's not. He's not. They don't know how to learn from mistakes, let me tell you. We keep going back to Kane and Caulifla, but this is a huge example of them, of like what the fuck they were doing. What were they doing, you know? Because they knew we were primed for a new Kefla, right? Take a look at the Kefla characters we had. So we have 1. We have the fusing Kefla. And we have the physical one. So no LR, right? Like, they knew people wanted the Kefla. And, you know, out of fear, with our rage, they went ahead and they Easy A'd this one just to keep us satisfied. And they made them absolutely busted, right? They're not just busted, I'm busted too. Let me tell you that. So I'm expecting the same thing. We've already talked about this. But I am expecting Vegito Super Easy A and Zamasu Regular Easy A. Just to make up, like, this is worse, but it doesn't, like, this is worse. This Kane and Caulifla, what happened to them was worse, but the Vegito feels worse because it's on a bigger scale, you know. When Part 2 Golden Week, Kane and Caulifla, you know, they might not have, I don't think they have the hype. Like, compare Kefla to Vegito, right? Like I said, I'm a Vegito fan. I'm more of like a Potara fan. And Vegito's just like, he's just so great, you know. But I compare the Kefla hype level to Vegito, right? Not that many people are like, okay, you know, we can still get an LR Kefla, right? We can still get a, you know, transforming Kefla. But 10 years in, and, you know, they're not, like, let's just admit it. They're never doing standalone fusions. They are never doing standalone blue fusions. This is not Dragon Ball Legends. If you want your standalone blue fusions, go to Legends, right? Go to Legends. They've got that, right? And that's just the most annoying part. Because we're 10 years in, and even for 9th anniversary, they didn't give us a blue fusion go. They didn't give us a stat. Like, this guy, he's good. He gets a pass because he's turn 4, right? But these two here, like, let me just say, the bias is crazy. The bias is unfair. The bias is not fair, you know? Because, like, they can't just change this, right? They can't just change. If they didn't change it for LR Gohan, previous worst active skill condition ever, they're not going to change it for these boys. You think that Amatsu's going in there, okay guys, let's shut the game down for 1 week. You know, we lose out a ton of money, but now we can change active skill conditions. No, they're not doing that. They're not doing that. They'll just drop another one. And we'll all summon anyway. Now, are we summoning? It depends on what reveals, right? It's like all of this is just complete like speculation. But let me get mad. Let me get mad because I want to. I want to get mad because this is warranted. This is warranted, right? The disrespect that Blue Vegito has been seen in recent times. You know what I mean? In recent times. Let me just say, since I started playing, it feels so bad, you know. But I guess that's it. How long was this? Yeah, another 10 minutes. Lovely. See you in the next one.